Um, we're in C3 along the ocean, and the the uh, the village was Dido. And finally, they just took bulldozers and completely just stopped them. Um, our sister company, a squad went in to the village or to the tree line, and they all got shot. Well, they all died, and they also got shot, in the head. But one of the atrocities a lot of armies did from time immemorial was castrate you and stuck your pecker in your mouth, and they did that for those guys. So we weren't very uh, friendly to the
Closed toward them.
yeah toward them. So our squad, 10 of us, we were going up the DMZs or going that way, and Tommy Roth from Muskogee, Oklahoma, uh, came up there. Hey, there's some gook sleeping in the hole, sleeping over here. And somebody in the back said, "Shoot him, Tommy, shoot him." So he killed them all. So they all didn't have any weapons or nothing. A lot of times you just sit them down and they figure that they'd get KIA weapons, which my first weapon was a KIA weapon.
Meaning
So we
from an
down
enemy?
there. I think I had a brand new North Vietnamese shirt and a belt buckle, and everybody did. We do souvenirs. Before I got, they used to just collect ears. We never did that. Uh, yeah, but we had no feelings. That if those guys hadn't been shot, we probably would have just taken prisoners.
Was this Tommy kind of an instigator type
No,
or
no, he was
what?
just an Okie from Muskogee. You know, if they said that to me, I probably wouldn't have, but 9 out of 10 people would have.
That you had to fake voices when you were reporting in?
Oh yeah. Okay. During the Tet was the easiest part of the war for us. They actually took our Marine Corps company out of the field, out of the bush, and had us guarding a bridge around uh, Pine Tree, which is a pretty good city. But it was one of the places that the North Vietnamese didn't hit at all. So, and we were assigned to the Army. So, I mean, they even changed our mailing address to Charlie Troop 101st Air Cav. So we were actually in the Army for about 3 or 4 weeks because they knew something was going to happen. They would say, it's a big surprise. Well, they knew it was going to happen. They didn't know how big it was. But anyway, so every night we'd send out an ambush, you know, 8 or 10 of us, and we had certain points to go to. And the first time or two, we'd go up there and go. So, I remember one time we went up there and we always brought extra food and stuff. So we were friendly at the front. We're going to sleep here tonight. Here's some food. Holler if something's coming. And they thought it was a good deal for them. And then we had an outpost that's out, 100 yards in front of the lines in case anything could hear anybody coming in. So we just all the outpost. There's an old Catholic church that had a big church that had half the roof still on it. So it was raining all the time. So the outpost would go out there, get inside the church, and the ambush would go outside the church. So there's like a dozen of us. So we only had to be awake an hour for the whole night instead of being awake almost all the time. So we'd, outpost Ralph, all secure, ambush, Charlie going from part point B to point C. You have to change your voice a little bit so they didn't, you know, and I don't know if they were that stupid and didn't realize or just didn't give a shit. But anyway, um, and then because it was raining and we all had dry clothes on, so we rolled around in the grass for a while before we came back into lines. But it looked like we looked like we were tiger stripes because we wet dry, wet dry, wet dry. So, but I don't know if the officers knew or didn't care or you know, one time we had two men hole watching all the time, and it's based at C4. We had foxhole like every 15, 20 feet, machine gun nest, uh, concertina wire, minefield, all secure. And then we'd still be doing patrols and stuff today. So we're still only awake half the night, or half the night we tried to sleep. And we slept on the watch all the time. People wake up. And this may be prejudice, but it seemed like we had a bunch of black guys that never slept on watch. So we tried to space them out for a tripwire, so to say. And so then the officer said, "You guys are sleeping too, check lines, and you're always feeling, you're awake, you're not awake." So we're going to 3-man holes, watch, and 2 guys be awake all night long. So now it means we're going to somehow survive on 3 hours of sleep if you go to sleep. And so I wasn't the instigator, but I knew about it. So someone sent him a grenade pin and said, "You'll get the other half tomorrow night," meaning we're going to blow them up. And then they came out the next day, amazingly, and said, "Okay, we're going back to 2-man hole watches, and we're not going to check lines." So that was the closest we came to fragging anybody. But sleep is important,
Oh, yeah.
and and that base, we still had sea rations or in places, and like we were at one time in base, helicopters came out and brought ice cold wine for the officers.